We trap to keep a good, healthy population of animals. And beavers are a rodent. The goal is to try and keep beavers from overpopulating.
Ken loves the great outdoors, and nothing stops him from enjoying this vast wilderness, not even his disabled leg.
I had polio. I had over 20 operations when I was a child. I mean, I was never supposed to walk. I threw the braces away and everything else, and I said, I'm going to walk. I'm going to do whatever normal people do.
Getting around this remote region is a real challenge, and Ken's trusty steed is his four-wheel quad bike.
The terrain is very rugged. The country is very mountainous. The hills are very, very steep. And there are a lot of places on my trap line that people, even that are good quadders, they wouldn't even tackle.
Today's ride is even more dangerous. Ken's bike is carrying a lot of extra weight.
My quad, without any fuel in it, and that weighs 600 pounds. The beavers, 35 and 50 pounds a piece. Then the 3 gallons of gas, yeah, pretty close to 1,000 pounds. A small pickup truck would probably weigh that.
The temperature drops below zero, and the wind picks up. So Ken calls it a day.
The wind was blowing at least 80 kilometers an hour. It was stuff blowing in my face as I was trying to drive. It was blowing up small rocks. All of a sudden, I felt this sharp pain in the eye, and I blinked, and I felt like a piece of grass in my eye, and the second I let go of my handlebars, I grabbed a hold of this piece of grass. And the bike started going up and over. I was on the way down, and I could feel the bike was following me over. It's just that there was nothing I could do. It felt to me like I was fast enough that I was getting out of the way, but then, wham, it was so fast. It just knocked me right face first into the dirt. And then I felt this excruciating pain in my leg. I could feel my foot. I could feel my ankle just totally dislocating, and the bones were breaking. I almost threw up just from the pain. The steel rack rammed me in the smaller part of the back and drove me down and knocked the wind out of me. The pain was from my ankle and in the calf of my leg. I couldn't push and lift myself enough to move the bike. No matter how I tried to move my legs, I couldn't.
The heavily laden quad has pinned Ken to the ground in the middle of nowhere. As a paramedic with the local rescue unit, Ken's first instinct is to try to assess the severity of his injuries.
I took my pulse. My pulse was at 160. It was bounding. I could feel, so my blood pressure must have been up high because I could really feel my pulse. My skin was pale. If I pinched it, it was slow to come back to normal. It took 5 seconds for my color to go back in my finger, so I knew that I was in shock. Pain and the anxiety was causing me to make my heart rate go up. So I knew I had to slow myself down so that I could rationalize, I could think properly.
Ken learned how to deal with pain as a child, fighting polio.
I kind of mentally block it out. It's amazing how much pain I can actually block out.
Ken cannot reach his legs, which took the full impact of the crash. and he can only imagine the kind of damage that's been done.
My first assumption was that, yes, I dislocated my ankle for sure, possibly crushed it. I thought that maybe I had done a lot of damage to my right knee because it hurt like hell. My polio leg is not very big. I can actually put my hand around it like this. When it smashed down into that ground, I thought for sure that knee was done.
The weight of Ken's quad bike and survival gear exerts enormous pressure on his injured legs, causing excruciating pain. It crushes his good right leg against his weaker polio leg, cutting off the circulation from his calf to his foot. Ken knows that to avoid permanent damage, he needs to act fast.
My first reaction was, I need to get out from underneath the quad, even if I've broken my leg. So I looked around and tried to see if there's any sticks or anything I could grab.
All of Ken's gear is still strapped to the quad. Only his axe has fallen clear during the crash. But it's tantalizingly just out of reach. Ken's survival instinct kicks in.
I always carry this fire starter around my neck and a compass on a string.
Getting his hands on the axe could mean the difference between life and death. To Ken, the axe is his only means of escape.
It took me several tries or more to finally catch the butt of the axe handle. I thought right away, well, maybe I can use my axe as a leverage to push the quad off of me.
But, trapped face down, it's impossible for Ken to get enough leverage on the axe handle to lift the quad.
Now I think, okay, I'm stuck here. I'm actually trapped. But when you're in that situation, you got to try something, and if that don't work, you got to try something else. I was thinking, well, if I can reduce the weight on the quad, maybe I'll have a better chance of getting out from underneath it.
But every strike causes agonizing pain to Ken's injured body as he tries to knock the heavy gear from the quad.
And then I thought, if I can perhaps maybe pile the beaver up, stick the axe in there on the corner of the rack.
With the beavers under his arms, Ken's hoping the extra height will make a difference. It seems to be working. The quad moves a fraction of an inch.
It felt so good. I mean, it still hurt like hell, and it felt like the bones were broken, but at least that steady, constant pressure was relieved.
Fueled by adrenaline, Ken decides it's time for a make-or-break effort to free himself.
I'd just broken my... Just before daylight, they came back.
The coyotes have returned, and this time they changed their tactics. closing in on Ken from behind. Unable to see them, Ken can only imagine their next attack.
You can hear them scratching, and you can, quick pitter-patters of feet. And then you hear a little yap. And then you can hear some more feet, so you don't know whether they're 200 yards away or whether they're right behind you. They were definitely excited, and they were getting each other excited.
As the coyotes move in for the kill, they discover one of the dead beavers that fell off the quad during the crash.
It sounded just like they were fighting over it. They sounded like they were a lot closer.
Now the coyotes have a taste for blood, and Ken fears he is next on the menu.
What's next? Are they going to get more aggressive?
The frenzy of noise seems to attract the attention of the dogs in the nearby farmhouse. But once again, high winds muffle the noise from human ears.
Perhaps if he would have let one of his dogs go, maybe they would have come to me.
The noise seems to scare off the coyotes for now. As day breaks, Ken has been trapped for nearly 40 hours. The chance of rescue remains so close, yet so far away.
Every time that I could hear the sound of the dogs barking, or I could hear the farmer opening the door, and I would blow the whistle, nothing would happen. It was very frustrating, damn frustrating to... What's going on? Why cannot something come my way for a change? Why can't my luck change? I'm the type of guy that, I've always been very independent, and this is the first time I found myself in a situation where I couldn't rely on myself to get myself out of it.
Ken's friends and family still have no idea he's missing, and no rescue operation has been launched.
I was down, definitely I was down.
As a paramedic, Ken knows his body is rapidly deteriorating.
I knew that shock was probably getting worse. My core body temperature was definitely dropping. My fuel intake was 0. It was more concentrated on trying not to fade off and go to sleep. I knew that if I was going to survive at all, I had to stay awake. Just before dark again, the coyotes came back, and there was a few more. I was so intent and focused on what these coyotes might be doing. One can only imagine and think because you can't see them, right?
It's Ken's third night trapped under the quad, exposed, dehydrated, and close to death. And this time, the coyotes have returned to hunt as a pack.
They're well versed at their attack tactics. They would have tried definitely for my face or my throat because that was the most exposed. If you're swinging one way, they would try to grab you from the back.
This pack have already tasted fresh meat, and they're craving for more.
If I couldn't scare them off with the whistle and hollering, my chances were very slim. Very slim.
Ken's outburst is just enough to fend off the coyotes. But if he has to spend another night out there, they'll be back, and he may not have the strength to fight them off for much longer.
For the full 4 days, I never slept. I consciously made sure that I kept myself awake because I know from experience the wind, the cold could kill me easily. My body was telling me it was a downward slide. My mental alertness wasn't there. My coordination wasn't as good as it could have been. So I knew all those things were telling me that my body is shutting down more all the time. For sure. My family was my primary focus. I can deal with whatever comes along. It's how can they deal with it? You know, how will it affect them? I thought that if I didn't make it, maybe while I still got my faculties together and I'm still able to write a message, I should write a message to them, just in case. Well, I told them I was sorry. And I loved them. I took my glasses off and I laid them in front of me, and I thought that, well, maybe, you know, just maybe I could get a little bit of rest. Finally, I actually closed my eyes.
On the fourth day of battling pain and fear, of forcing himself to stay awake, to fend off dangerous coyotes and hypothermia, Ken finally lets go.
That morning was a nice day for a walk, and I decided to take my dog to a particular area to visit friends. And looking at the beautiful hills and the mountains in the background, I changed my plans, went to another area, and found an area I'd never been before. Why did I change my mind? I have no idea.
Let's go.
Search and rescue expert Roy Davidson.
You know, hey, this is great.
Wow, man!
But, you know, Josh then grew real serious real quick.
No! What's the matter? Car, we need to get out of here. Go, man, go. I knew we were in a current, and then I realized that, you know, we were actually going backwards. So, you know, I tried paddling harder.
And the harder we paddle and the more energy we burn, it seemed like we weren't getting nowhere.
The boys are fully caught in the riptide, and it's dragging them away from shore and out to the open ocean.
When I realized how far we went in such short a time, I was like, this thing is really powerful.
Go, keep going! Still going out! All right, stop. Drop here. Yeah.
Well, we threw the anchor out, trying to get it to hook on to something, you know.
It wasn't doing its job. I mean, it wasn't anchoring us or holding us in one position. Sure enough, we just kept drifting further out. It was no match for the current.
Paddle, Troy, on!
Oh, Josh, man, my arms.
Come on, Troy!
I don't think it's working.
Keep going!
You know, there's a bunch of people out there running and, you know, jogging and walking.
Hey! Hey! Over here! Hey!
And we were hoping that one of them would have seen us.
We tried to get their attention, but nobody, you know, heard us. We were already that far out.
It's taken just minutes for the boys and their tiny boat to be dragged hundreds of yards out to sea and into serious trouble.
We both talked to each other and saying, we're not going nowhere. This isn't helping. We got to do something different. We got to come up with a different plan.
We gotta do something.
Stay here.
What do you do?
So I put the top of my wetsuit on, I put my fins on, and I started swimming.
Josh's plan is to swim to the sandbar with the anchor rope and then pull the boat to safety. In a panic, Troy also tries to swim for the sandbar, but straight away feels the force of the current.
John!
I was almost there, and then I look back and see Troy struggling.
Feels like something's trying to just pull me under. You know, I just feel all my energy being sucked out of my body. And once you run out of energy and you can't swim against it, it has no mercy. I mean, it's gonna kill you regardless if you like it or not. I just told Josh I can't do it.
I went under again!
We were being pulled out to sea at a very fast pace, and couldn't do anything about it.
Just 20 minutes after setting off on an innocent fishing trip, the two schoolboys' day out is going badly wrong as they're dragged out into the Atlantic Ocean. Alone in a tiny boat, they have no water, food, or mobile phones. And their ordeal has only just begun.
John, get him! Just kill him! Troy, we're gonna come get us soon. Don't worry, okay?
I told Troy, I said, well, you know, they're gonna come look for us. They're gonna find us. So I was like, you know, and I told him, I said, I'm just gonna fish, you know, while we're waiting.
Shark fishing. Come on, man. Give me my new rod.
Right as I got the pole rigged up and I stood up to cast it, a wave hit the side of the boat and knocked me over, and I knocked over my brand new fishing pole in the water.
No, my new pole! No!
He lost his brand new pole, and that really ticked him off a lot, and he pretty much lost it.
Stupid fishing trip! My new rod!
Everything I did was getting, you know, screwed somehow that day. It was definitely one of my temper tantrums.
Whoa! Cool it, man. Yeah, this isn't gonna help, is it?
Shut up, man.
I knew he lost a fishing pole, but that was the least of my worries. You know, I was like, hey, man, listen, this isn't what we need to do right now. You don't need to be cussing. You don't need to be throwing stuff. You know, we need to be here as a team. You know, we came in it together, and we were gonna go out together.
Crazy, man. You're losing your mind on me. Sorry, man. Crazy.
As dusk falls, and with no sign of rescue, the boys begin to take stock of their situation.
Josh? What? When are they gonna come?
I don't know, Troy.
How will they find us?
I don't know.
But they don't know where we are. What's gonna happen then? Are we just gonna drift around in the ocean at night? Yeah?
Shut the hell up.
You know, I was telling him, I was like, Troy, we've only been out here for, you know, one day. I said, they're gonna realize tonight that we didn't come home, and they'll be out here the next morning.
Okay. Okay.
I knew it wasn't good, you know. We don't see land, we don't have a cell phone, and we don't have food or water, but it's the first, you know, couple hours into the trip, so somebody's gonna realize, okay, the boys are not home, something's not right, and we need to go look for them.
They're coming. I know they're coming.
The boys haven't been seen for over 10 hours. And back on shore, Josh's father calls for help.
Hello, is that the Coast Guard station? I want to report my son and his best friend missing.
They were saying, where did the boys put in at? That was their first question. They want to know where, what the description of the boys and where they would have put the boat in.
I mean, we have no idea where they went. No, they didn't say a thing. Yeah.
The Coast Guard can't mount a search until they know exactly where the boat was launched from.
Okay, thanks.
So Josh's father now begins his own search to find where the boys might have entered the water.
I had no idea where the boys were at, and very, very concerned that we haven't heard anything, no calls, and we kept searching until past 4 o'clock in the morning.
Josh's father first checks the river, where he believes the boys have gone fishing.
No, Connie. I checked the river, but nothing.
Finding nothing there, he also checks the ocean shore, close to Sullivan's Island.
I went out on the beach. I walked until I stopped probably about 100 yards from where the trailer was. But his car was black. So, I mean, I drove right past it, didn't see the car.
With no sighting of where the boys have launched, no search is mounted that night.
Hi, Debbie. What? What, they're not going to launch anything tonight? Or anything at all? Really? Right.
Out on the ocean, the two boys are still drifting in their tiny boat. Alone, they face their first night out at sea, in the middle of a storm.
The first night, I barely slept. We were very, very cold.
Strong waves begin to batter the tiny boat, and the temperature plummets to below freezing.
It's coming in too fast. We're all right. We're all right.
When a wave would come, it would pull that side of the boat down and water would come over.
Come on.
You know, it felt like ice hitting you. You know, all in all, we were, you know, freezing to death.
John, keep moving. Keep moving, okay?
Couldn't feel our hands. We were shivering. We pretty much, we had to cuddle with each other, you know, just for body heat. It was that bad.
Suffering the extreme nighttime cold makes the boys realize just how much peril they're in. Panic turns to terror as they face up to the reality that their lives are in real danger.
The first night was filled with a lot of emotion. Our mood, went from being, okay, we're gonna get rescued to, okay, why are we still here? There should have been a boat, there should have been a helicopter, what's going on?
Morning.
Josh's father, Eddie, begins yet another day's search for the boys, determined to remain optimistic.
Okay, people, now, I know that we're all tired, but this is the day. We are gonna find them today. We're not gonna give up, because they are out there.
Every day when I would get up on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, I would just think, today's the day we're gonna find the boys.
As well as the Coast Guard search, Eddie also keeps up his own lookout on the ocean.
Well, the search got bigger every day. I mean, because we knew we had more distance we had to cover. The boat could have traveled more distance every day.
Despite a massive Coast Guard and community search, there's still no sign of the two boys.
It was like Groundhog Day. Every day was the same day. You wake up, there's water. There's nothing else but water.
They're suffering from extreme dehydration. Only their youth and good health are keeping them alive.
Well, when you have nothing to eat or drink, for days, it starts to really hurt, wear on your body. I really didn't understand the meaning of starving or parched or, dehydrated until then.
The dehydration is now life-threatening. The chemical balance of their bodies is undergoing serious change, and they require urgent medical attention. But despite the desperate need for water, all Troy can think about is food and how hungry he is.
I noticed my hands were peeling pretty bad because it was so hot. I was so dried out. So, I decided to take a little piece of my skin off my hand, and I balled up and put it on a hook we had left over in the boat. And I kept doing it, and the little fish every time won.
It's not working.
The boys failed to catch any fish. But Troy is now so desperate, he's prepared to eat almost anything.
I had to have something in my mouth, something that had texture, some type of meat.
Troy, what you doing?
Nothing.
Why you got the knife?
I'm gonna do it, Josh. I just need something to eat.
What? Don't be sick.
Well, I seen him over on the side of the boat with a knife in his hand, and he was kind of just touching it to his skin, but he wasn't cutting it. He was just touching it to see how sharp, I guess, it was.
What the hell are you doing? What's the matter with you?
Will you do it?
What?
Do it,
Shut
please.
up, man.
So I asked Josh, can you please cut my finger off, With me looking away, just go down on it as hard as you can.
Please, shut up. Please do. You ask me that again and I will knock you out. Do you understand? You crazy? Cut your own finger off? What's the matter with you, Troy?
We've been there on most of the islands around Charleston.
Back on shore, after 3 days of searching, the Coast Guard gives Josh's father some devastating news.
Anything?
Nothing.
Right, well, first light, we're going to target Lake Marion.
Mr. Long.
Then we're going to go down to Ashley Riverbanks. They might have run aground.
Mr. Long, we've been searching for 3 days. This has been the most extensive search in South Carolina's history. and we found nothing.
No, you can't call off the search.
I'm truly sorry. There's nothing more we can do.
Please.
Coast Guard came to us and said they're going to officially call off the search. And now they're going to switch it from a rescue to a recovery.
I'm sorry.
Starting first thing in the morning, they were going to just start coming to the beaches looking for the bodies. I just totally couldn't believe that they're going to stop searching for the boys. It melted my heart to know my little boy was possibly gone.
Knowing the Coast Guard has now called off the search, Eddie is left with little more than his faith.
How are you, Edward?
They're still out there. I just know that they're still out there.
Throughout the whole thing, I just had to rely on prayer. I just realized that this was going to be, in God's hands to bring these boys through.
Out at sea, the boys are facing up to the reality that they may never be rescued.
You okay?
I didn't think I was gonna ever have a future. I thought my 15 years on the earth was it.
Every time we thought of our family, our parents, it was just real emotional.
You're talking, man.
We both, looked at each other, and we were very, very sad, very nervous, very scared.
We were both trying to doze off, and I fell asleep, and he was already asleep. And next thing I wake up to a sound of an engine.
The boys have been woken by a huge cargo ship heading directly towards them.
Troy, wake up!
I've never been close to something that big. It was stories upon stories high. At the same time, it was so close, it seemed like I could touch it.
Hey! Hey! Stop! Stop! Stop!
Just as the boys had given up all hope of being rescued, it seems help has finally arrived.
Stop!
But the enormous ship doesn't stop and is now about to run over them.
Come on! Hold on!
Incredibly, the swell of the ship pushes the boys just out of its path and saves them from almost certain death.
Come back! Come back!
They can only watch as their final hope of being rescued disappears into the night.
If they're not gonna rescue us, we're only feet away from them. They're definitely not gonna rescue us when we're, a couple hundred or 1,000 feet away. It just wasn't gonna happen. We were simply a needle in a haystack.